Well, howdy do, buckaroos and buckarettes. Welcome to the Old Song Sing Along with Rick and Margie. Hey, I'm going to grab my guitar. I feel a party coming on. Ow.
Ooh.
Classic bonka bow. Well, this song we want to start with, this was in a Gene Autry movie I saw years ago, and I don't remember the name of the movie, but I remember the song. In fact, it makes me think of you. It's called Dear Hearts and Gentle People. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people have never ever let me down. They read the good book from Friday till Monday. That's how the weekend goes. I've got a dream house I'll build there one day, with picket fence and rambling rose. I feel so welcome each time that I return. My happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live and love in my hometown. Here's the place I'd like to be, and the folks I'd like to see, where your happy neighbors stop and say hello.
Howdy.
It's a pleasure and a treat to meander down the street. That's why I want the whole wide world to know. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people have never ever let me down. They read the good book from Friday till Monday. That's how the weekend goes. I've got a dream house I'll build there one day, with picket fence and rambling rose. Yes, I feel so welcome each time that I return. My happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live and love in my hometown. Yes, I feel so welcome each time that I return. My happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live and love in my hometown. Yeehaw! You know, I remember the hometown that I grew up in, and that was Annapolis, Maryland. My daddy had gotten a really good job working for a big company, and he moved me, my brother, and my mom, and from New York down to Maryland. And I remember growing up in that town, Annapolis. It was right on the Chesapeake Bay. Well, it still is, as far as I know. I haven't been there in a while. But I'm so glad my daddy got that job, because if he had not moved us to Maryland, I never would have met Margie the first day of high school. Now, she grew up in Annapolis, too. In fact, her house was almost right on the water. You could kind of see the water from their porch. And I think that's really cool. The water is really nice. Mm. We used to go crabbing and things like that. And Margie's family had a sailboat and everything. But I remember those dear hearts and gentle people. We had some really nice neighbors around us where I grew up. And I remember playing with some of the kids there. And I bet you've got a lot of great memories of the hometown that you grew up in. You know, that there really is something special about remembering those times. Anyway, this song that we'd like to do now is a song that I think was written by Willie Nelson. I'm not really sure who wrote it, but it's called On the Road Again. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friend, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been. seeing things that I may never see again. No, I can't wait to get on the road again. And on the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way, on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way, on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friend, and I can't wait to get on the road again. No, I can't wait to get on the road again. That's right, can't wait to get on the road again. You know, Marge and I lived on the road for about 6 years. We got ourselves a camper van, and we outfitted it and just went, out into the wilderness. I think it was the result of after having raised 2 teenagers, we just needed to get out to the desert for a while and just kind of regroup.
Yeah.
No, actually, our kids are great. We had a great time, raising kids. But then we thought, hey, let's go see the Great American West. And we traveled all over the West, singing music at different places and living in our van. We got to see the Grand Canyon. We got to see all the national parks in Utah. We drove through California. We actually went up the Oregon coast all the way up to Washington State. And lots of places in between. We had a great time. And that was a song we would sing a lot, On the Road Again. Although I must admit, after 6 years in a camper van, I must admit I do appreciate having a house.
Right.
And a running toilet. Those are just the things that you miss.
Right.
Well, this next song was done by Gene Autry. And let me think how this song goes. In fact, he made a movie years ago called South of the Border, Down Mexico Way. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. South of the border, down Mexico way. That's where I fell in love when stars above came out to play. And now as I wander, my thoughts ever stray. South of the border, down Mexico way. She was a picture in old Spanish lace. Just for a tender while I kissed the smile upon her face. For it was fiesta, and we were so gay. South of the border, down Mexico way. Oh, she sighed as she whispered mañana, never dreaming that we were parting. And I lied as I whispered mañana, for our tomorrow never came. South of the border, I rode back one day. There in a veil of white, by candlelight, she knelt to pray. But the mission bells told me that I mustn't stay. South of the border, down Mexico way. Oh, she sighed as she whispered mañana, never dreaming that we were parting. And I lied as I whispered mañana, for our tomorrow never came. South of the border, I rode back one day. There in a veil of white, by candlelight, she knelt to pray. But the mission bells told me that I mustn't stay south of the border, down Mexico way. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Olé. You know, Gene Autry wrote one time, he said, that song has more ay, ay, ay's than Ricky Ricardo singing Babalu. But that's a great song. Well, this next song we'd like to sing with you, it was done by John Denver. And let me see if I got the right key for this song. I think I need my key changer here. This is a song that, to me, is just quintessential John Denver. Such a beautifully written melody and lyric. And it just kind of gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. This song is called Back Home Again. There's a storm across the valley. Clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder. He's an hour away from riding on your prayers up in the sky. 10 days on the road are barely gone, but there's a fire softly burning, supper's on the stove, but it's the light in your eyes that makes him warm. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. There's all the news to tell him of how you spend your time, and what's the latest thing the neighbors say. And your mother called last Friday, sunshine made her cry. You felt the baby move just yesterday. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. And all the time that I can lay this tired old body down, feel your fingers feather soft upon me. The kisses that I live for, the love that lights my way, the happiness that living with you brings me. It's the sweetest thing I know of, just spending time with you. It's the little things that make a house a home, like a fire softly burning, supper on the stove, and the light in your eyes that makes me warm. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. I said, hey, it's good to be back home again. Isn't that a pretty song? I just love songs like that.
Yeah.
Well, this next song was done by Elvis. And when I say Elvis, I mean Elvis Presley. As if there was any other. Elvis is one of those few people that only has, to use his first name and everybody knows who you're talking about.
Right.
Now, if you say Rick, people are going to say, I need more information.
That's right.
Rick who? I don't know, just Rick. Anyway, this song was called I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. I just couldn't help myself. That's how I felt about Margie when I first fell in love with her. Mm. Well, this next song is one that was actually, this was written years ago, and I should know who wrote this, but it slips my mind. Mm. This is a beautiful, patriotic song that I just love, and it's called "My Country 'Tis of Thee." My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture thrills like that above. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. Let music swell the breeze and sing from all the trees, sweet freedom song. Let more immortal tongues awake. Let all that breathe partake. Let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. What a beautiful song. You know, the last verse of that song, in fact, I was trying to remember it while I was singing it, and I couldn't quite get there. But I believe it says, my Father's God to thee, author of liberty, to thee I sing. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God our King. Well, we'd like to leave you with one last song today, and we hope you sing this song all through the rest of the day. It's a song written by Dale Evans, and she and Roy Rogers always closed out their show with Happy Trails. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Some trails are happy ones and others are blue, but it's the way you ride the trail that counts. Here's a happy one for you. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Just keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Some trails are happy ones and others are blue, but it's the way you ride the trail that counts. Here's a happy one for you. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Just keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Till we meet again. Well, you know, life is really, well, it's a great gift. But there are a lot of, bumps on the road as we go through life. There are a lot of difficulties and things that we face. But trying to keep a positive attitude, I know it's hard sometimes, but it really is worthwhile. God has good things for us. And even though we suffer a lot of times in the flesh, in the spirit we can have joy. And that's why I love listening to the scriptures on my phone. And I pray. I really do believe in prayer, that we can connect with God and we can have joy on the inside, even if the outside is in pain and we have difficulties and troubles. But, songs like that, Happy Trails and You Are My Sunshine, there are lots of songs that we can sing, lots of hymns. I love the old hymns, like Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound. There are a lot of things we can do to keep on the sunny side of life, and I encourage you to do that.
Right.
Also, stay close with the people around you. I know a lot of times it's easy to isolate ourselves especially if we're going through difficulties, and or maybe we have some problems with people around us. Not everybody is a good neighbor,
Right.
but there are good neighbors that we can reach out to and connect with.
That's right.
That can lift us up and help us, through all these tough times. Well, God bless you, my friend. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Until we meet again, happy trails.
Happy trails. Bye-bye.